so we'll figure it out.
Okay, we're streaming here, so let me know.
All right, you ready to go?
So ready. So ready. Do you remember that, Jar Jar Binks?
We're not allowed to talk about Jar Jar.
You know what, Jar Jar is a poor, unloved soul.
He's pure heart.
Yeah.
We got 30 seconds. I'm gonna let you hear everything.
Locations in Beaumont and Temecula, and visit top-lineindustrial.com. At Top Line Industrial, we...
Are you okay? Was there a blackout?
Program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
Listen to USC Trojan Talk with the coach, Harvey Hyde. Brought to you by BMW of Ontario. Every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. right here on KMET 1490.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. We got lots of stuff going on here, including what's going on next here on the morning show. And yes, can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, my bad. I'll put you on. The whole power went out.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. You're live. Let me get the music.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We appreciate each and every one of you for joining us here on this beautiful day. It is a beautiful day to be alive, and it is February 5th. What's going on in your world? We want to know about it. National Wear Red Day, National Weather Person's Day, National Shower with a Friend Day, World Nutella Day, and or Bubblegum Day of these in social media. Let us know which one you'll want to celebrate. We got Katya Wunderland tuning in from, I believe, Switzerland. We got Penelope Green tuning in over there as well. Let your voice be heard. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And here's what we want to know about each and every one of you. We just want to know how you are keeping it real over there. Wherever you're doing and wherever you're doing it, just keep doing it really well. We had a little bit of a power outage there on our end, so hopefully everybody's good in the Riverside area. It was a bit of a power outage we're not used to having here at the station, so we're getting things out behind the scenes as well. But these are your choices. I think personally, some of you really like Nutella, and some of you might want to do that more than anything. But National Shower with a Friend Day, I don't know if that's good, bad, or what. I don't know if that's sort of your thing, Jesse, or if it's kind of not. But you okay over there?
You're kind of blowing my mind. Why would I take a shower with a friend?
It's not. I didn't make this up, man. I just, I call it what it is. Let's see. It's winter's the coldest, loneliest season of the year. With dwindling daylight, Valentine's Day, February can often leave people feeling dejected and somber. That's according to this is a terrible little National Day calendar item. Let's see. It says the day injects a bit of humor into the season while also serving to educate people on the benefits of showering in fresh filtered water and the effects of chlorine. Oh, that's an interesting spin there. So shower with filtered water, learn more about the harmful effects of chlorine and how to filter it. Use hashtag shower with a friend day to post on social media. And there you go. That's a statement from here. It's a thing. Who knew? Sound like a good idea, bad idea, or
it sounds like a weird idea. The only time I'll take a shower with somebody is if we're like at the beach and it's like an outside shower.
Oh, that makes sense. Shower with a friend day at the beach. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, look, I I think it's just a weird pickup line. Hey, you want to shower with me? We could be friends. Seriously, friends with side benefits of getting clean. Okay, there you go. That makes no sense at all, but whatever. All right, so we are checking out the latest stream, seeing where you guys tune in. Let's see. Stephanie Reed says, hello, happy editing this glorious awesomeness. Cold, busy day for today. Awesome. It is cold out there, right? In some areas, getting into the negatives. We talked about that a while back. All right. In other news, look, there's always late breaking news. And if you haven't already, download our app. It's KMET 1490 AM. If some of you are wondering what happened to our broadcast signal, we're still getting it back up and running. I'm sure it's running pretty soon. So here is the latest in the world of Biden. The Biden administration is expected to deploy approximately 1,000 troops to assist with COVID vaccination effort. Okay, this is late breaking and important information out there, especially for the waiting for it some time. They're expected to announce it from the White House this morning. According to two defense officials, the plan calls for the troops to form into 5 teams to travel to designated sites. The orders are expected to call for the troops to be ready to deploy within 96 hours. The effort is in response to a FEMA request to the Pentagon to provide military assistance, providing vaccinations to meet President Joe Biden's goal of increasing the number of Americans who get shots during his first 100 days in office. Now, the Defense Department and FEMA have been discussing sending up to 10,000 troops. Each team will have personnel who can administer vaccines as well as support troops. The goal is for the military to eventually ramp up to administering approximately 450,000 vaccines a day. U.S. Northern Commander in Colorado Springs is now expected to work out exactly which troops will go and could potentially include active duty personnel and National Guard. There's already National Guard deployment across the country. According to Max Rose, who's the COVID senior advisor to the Secretary of Defense, said there are over 20,000 National Guardsmen deployed providing COVID support, including at over 216 vaccine sites in 36 states and territories. The Pentagon has kept hundreds of personnel on notice to be prepared to deploy to help overwhelmed healthcare facilities and hospitals around the country. Will that work? Will that be something that is needed? Obviously, there's a big push towards getting people safer than not. And I think this will be, the beginning of something that I think people really need to see in their area, just to stress the importance of, again, staying safe, being safe. And I still have questions that I'm sure are going to be had as to, which vaccine is being given. I know a question was asked of me yesterday of a healthcare worker that takes care of my sister, and she has allergies, and she had questions on Moderna, Pfizer's version, and then there's been talk as well about the Johnson & Johnson one that's going to be coming out around the corner. So obviously a lot of work's been done. What's going to happen next? We want to know on social media. Will you be in line to take of this, or have you already? Some of you have actually not taken of the second dose. You took of the first, but there's a lot of numbers coming in that actually the second dose hasn't even been taken. So a lot of questions are happening over there as well. So a lot of questions. We're looking at information from around the world and wondering what's going on. So let us know. Let us know your opinion as well. We appreciate it. Rosalie is saying, good morning. Happy Friday. Thank you, Rosalie, for tuning in as well. Also, let's see. Okay. There's some unemployment numbers, and if you're going to look for something either good or bad, the latest is a very interesting statement here. Unemployment falls to lowest level since before coronavirus pandemic. Okay, hiring around the U.S. has remained pretty subdued in January. Employers added 49,000 jobs, with white-collar services leading the gains as lower-paid service jobs continue to suffer. The unemployment rate fell to 6.3% from 6.7% in December. People found new jobs and others dropped out of the labor force, meaning they're no longer counted as unemployed. So that's the lowest rate since February, before the coronavirus erupted, when unemployment was at 3.5%. Oxford economists are saying this, quote, as the economy passed the worst of the third COVID wave, vaccine optimism took hold. The labor market displayed a faint heartbeat. While favorable seasonal factors helped lift the monthly jobs count, the January gain nonetheless represented little progress toward recovery. Now, professional and business services have led the gains. That's adding 97,000 jobs that concentrate in temp firms. The gains were offset by losses in leisure and hospitality, which actually is 61,000 jobs. Retail, trade, and healthcare and social assistance lost 40,000 jobs. The previous month saw a loss of 227,000 jobs. That's according to revised government figures, with leisure and hospitality dropping 563,000 jobs. Nick Bunker, who's a chief economist, said by far the biggest hit to employment has been to lower wage industries. Those with low wages are hit hardest and have not seen a rebound, as have other industries. Obviously, a lot of questions. Has it hit you? Have you felt the hit in your own personal own life? Obviously, a lot of people just trying to make ends meet. Some taking jobs that they would have never taken otherwise. Again, some just bunkering down. We see you. We hear you. And again, I do hope that something comes up around the corner for each and every one of you for sure. All right, we need to take a little break. When we come back, we're going to come back with a little bit of information that you might be looking for. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss this next segment. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Standard time is here. That means shorter days and cooler nights that make you want to stay inside. Don't get caught in the cold. Franklin Mechanical Systems can do a preventative maintenance check on your heating unit to get it working right. For cleaning, repair, or a new installation, call them for a free estimate. Franklin Mechanical Systems, for all your residential and commercial heating and air conditioning needs. Call their Beaumont office at 951-845-1000. That's 951-845-1000, and stay warm today.
Out the door, in the car, off to work. The same old morning routine. Take a break and stop for hot coffee or latte and a fresh homemade cinnamon roll or chocolate cream puff. Donut Delight on Highland Springs Road in Banning is a locally owned family business with a friendly staff and customers who are always glad to see you. Get your morning off to a great start at Donut Delight on the corner of Highland Springs Road and Ramsey Street, right off the I-10 freeway. Serving the Pass area for 22 years. Donut Delight is open at 4:30 a.m. daily.
Check out the online California Youth Leadership Summit on Saturday, February the 6th from 2 to 5 p.m. Topics for the high school and college panels include climate change, racial equality, gender equity, world peace, and coping with the pandemic. Panel moderators include such celebrities as former NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez and Guinness World Record-holding mountaineer Marin Minamia. It's open to all ages. To register for free, visit www.californiasummit.org. That's www.californiasummit.org.
Decades ago, scientists discovered why Greenland Eskimos maintain healthy hearts despite their high-fat diets. The high level of omega-3 oils in their seafood diet protected their hearts. Carlson Norwegian fish oil provides those important omega-3 oils. The same omega-3s from cold water fish support maximum brain power, immune strength, joint comfort, and our vision too. Carlson, the very finest fish oil, is a valuable source of the important omega-3s, EPA and DHA. Each teaspoon provides a full 1,600 milligrams of omega-3s. And its purity is guaranteed. Try it on salads and popcorn. It tastes like lemon, not fishy. As for Carlson, the very finest fish oil, at finer health food stores today.
Don't let insurance companies make decisions for you. Go to Pass Auto Center in Banning, your one-stop repair facility with full collision repair, auto maintenance, service, and an authorized smog center. You'll also find a full-service used car lot to fit every budget with the right vehicle for you. Trade-ins are accepted and they pay cash for your car. Pass Auto Center at 2609 West Ramsey in Banning, just off the I-10 freeway between Sunset and 22nd. Call 951-849-7878.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. And I told you and I promised you this segment you're not going to want to miss. It's all about what car should you go check out and or see if it's a possibility of maybe adding to your either lineup of wish cars, wish abilities, and or just things that you're like, you know what, I need to find a friend that has one of these items. I will tell you one of my most favorite ones as of late is a Lexus. That's all I'm going to say right now. But joining me right around over here in the other band is none other than Ricardo Rodriguez of Garage Latino, which is trying and struggling over there. I don't know if you can hear me, but Ricardo, are you there?
Can you see me?
I can. I can see you. I can see you. You're here.
I can see. Okay, I don't know what happened in my phone. I think today is a tech day, Friday.
It is. It is. It's funny you say that. We had a whole blackout over in our own radio station, and that happened about 20 minutes ago. So, welcome to technology.
I was there. I could see everything that's going on behind the scenes, and now it's happening to me. So, but if you can see me, that's great. No problem. I'm used to stare to blank stares in front of me. But
okay.
First of all,
hold on, Ricardo. Let me do this again. I'm going to do a fun little reset because sometimes people see our segments and they go, "What happened?" So let me just do a quick little soft, fun intro, okay? Because that one had a couple little misnomers in it. Okay. That's right. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez, and we got with us Ricardo Rodriguez with us right here, tuning in all the way from the beautiful city of LA, Orange County, or Riverside, and/or?
Well, we are in a secret place in California.
There you go.
Where we enjoy snow, we enjoy the birds, and we can really enjoy vehicles off-road. We can get to go into the trails and try all kinds of vehicles around here. Thank you very much for bringing me back. It's always a pleasure to be with your audience, and I see a lot of activity already. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So I'm here to tell you, you were mentioning about cars that you wish to have and this and that, but I was just thinking sometimes some cars need a little bit of help. And the help is because today, I don't think they're really bad cars. I don't think no one makes a bad car. And it's a question of preferences. It's a question of how you're going to use the vehicle. If you're going to have it for a short term, if you're just going to lease the vehicle for 2 or 3 years, or if you're going to buy it to keep it for 10 years or more, so you have to think about long term. How do you want to use this vehicle? Because they're not inexpensive. I mean, the value of the cars, the price of the cars keeps going up. So you have to think about, okay, I'm going to keep it or not. But I was very, very surprised in the day of media where people only read the headlines on this vehicle that I'm going to read the quote. Is this blank blank good? No, it is not. I go, wait a minute.
Wait.
Why are you saying that this vehicle is not good? What base do you have? And specifically, is the Toyota Tundra a good truck? No, the Toyota truck is not a good truck. Wow. I thought that's interesting. And then I go somewhere else, and the Toyota Tundra finishes.
Oh, did we lose him? I think we lost him. Yep. We're having some technical difficulties. Oh, sorry. You cut out there. You went out.
Sorry.
No. What we heard last was something about Toyota Tundra, one really bad one, and then the other one was a different one. Can you read that headline again?
Yeah, he says that the Toyota Tundra finishes near the bottom of all the trucks. I go, wow, is the media against Toyota for some reason? Because as far as I know, Toyota makes pretty good cars.
Right, right.
So I'm very surprised. So I think in these days when people are only reading the headlines, and we are bombarded by Tesla, news every 5 minutes. We really have to dig a little bit deeper into, what are good cars, or again, there are no bad cars, but what is that we are looking for?
Yeah.
Just don't go for the headlines,
Well, and I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm kind of showing on the window right now for those of ones watching our social media audience. For those on the radio, you're going to have to bear with us. But the 2021 Tundra, I have not had a chance to test out just yet, but I'm assuming you have. And,
yes, I have.
And I'm seeing it at the number of starting at 33,825 with 13 estimated miles per gallon to 17, so city and highway. But I got to ask, what's your view of this particular vehicle?
Well, I think it's, I've spoken to engineers at Toyota on this particular vehicle. Tundra, we have to understand that the pickup truck market, the 1-ton truck market, it's been, it's a market that was generated in the United States. There's no other country in the world that uses pickup trucks as much as we do here. A lot of people buy a pickup truck to never really use it as a pickup truck. It's more a 4-door big sedan with a capability of once in a blue moon, maybe you go to Home Depot, and you can carry some pieces of wood and a plywood. Ford, Chevy have been the leaders in this market since the beginning. Ford started with a 1908 pickup truck in 1918. Chevrolet starts making pickup trucks. Later on, there's a bunch of other nameplates like Studebaker, GMC, Harvester, and so forth. But from the 60s onwards, everybody knows is Ford, Dodge, Chevy. Those are the 3 American trucks, right? And I think it has to be a little bit with that identity where the market has never really sort of adopted a truck with a Japanese name, with the Toyota name. Toyota is the most American truck.
Yeah.
It is designed, built, all in the United States, but people don't know that.
When people forget that, right? It's kind of sold
right.
as sometimes Buy American, not knowing that a lot of American actually is manufactured in the U.S. Yeah.
That's right. So, but knowing how Toyota works, I know that this truck is built just like a Corolla, it to last forever. So they might not do the most expensive interior. They might, because they will know that, okay, if I put this best leather today, 20 years from now, it's going to be all faded, all rotted, it's not going to look good.
That's true.
They might not use some of the shiny plastics in the interior because they know that, okay, 10 years from now, all this is going to fade away and it's not going to look anymore, and things like that. So it's an approach from the company to make a product that it's really going to last a long time. And when you make things that are going to last a long time, well, think of when you get a nice leather jacket, right? Those sleeves first are like, this is hard, or just like a good leather shoe, right? At the beginning it's hard, right? And it's like little by little they get, softer and softer, and then it's like you don't want to give them up anymore, right?
Right.
So if you look at the whole Toyota lineup of vehicles, pretty much, and Lexus for that matter, pretty much all these, the best reputation they have is that they last a long, long time. And there's so many of these pickup trucks in the 300, even 400,000 miles. So you cannot say that, no, it's not a good truck. The truck runs without problems 400,000 miles.
Yeah. Well, and I have to say, of trucks, I haven't really test drove a lot of trucks. I know I've wanted to try out the Ram. I've seen the inside of that beast, and they are pretty, powerful. Which I know, some of these, the Hispanic Motor Press are judging upon coming up very soon, and I think the numbers will be detailing what a lot of the judges, including yourself, including I, on some of these vehicles. Sometimes I have to say, Ricardo, what does this mean? Because I haven't been able to test all of them. You know what I mean? So what's an important thing in a vehicle pickup truck that everybody should look for other than size, pizzazz, or, just overall?
Well, I think, if you are in the market for a large pickup truck, a 1 ton, 1.5 ton trucks, you really have to consider how you're going to use it, because something that they're not good at, it's miles per gallon.
Yeah,
you're moving a big vehicle. These are 6,000 pound trucks, that they're built to be towing things. They're built to be loading, a ton of bricks in the back, so obviously consumption, it's not their priority, right?
Yeah.
So that's number one. Number two is the trucks are getting big. I mean, they do a lot of studies, and the research shows that the truck customer prefers, something that is big with a big hood, and that visually it shows I'm driving a very powerful machine. But with that also comes visibility. All these trucks today, they're so tall that they're not easy to see, close by, in proximity, what's around you. And also, if you live in San Francisco, for example, and you go a shopping mall, well, good luck trying to park one of these big trucks. I mean, it's very, very hard.
I had somebody that almost crammed the other side's car, and they almost didn't let them out. And he was really tightening it. You knew he knew his space, but the lady next to him was like, "I can't even get out of your big monstrosity on the passenger side," So I was like. And he ended up backing it up. So sometimes big could be a little difficult, especially in small parking spots, like honestly shopping places. I have to take a quick break, but I want to keep you because I want to talk about two vehicles I've gotten to try, which is the Lexus IS 350. I believe it is the F Sport.
Rear wheel drive. That's a driver's car. Very good dynamics. If you like driving, it's a joy to drive. Very smooth car.
Yeah, and I want to talk about the 2021 Venza as well. A completely different vehicle, but a very interesting bit of addition, which I like the privacy glass. I don't know if you saw that.
Yep. Yeah, the Venza is a nice, popular car. I think it's a good family car, good size.
It is. So let's talk about that around the corner. Let's take a quick break. Can I keep you there, Ricardo? All right, Ricardo of Garage Latino is going to stay with us just a bit. Bring in your questions. If you got questions about certain vehicles, he's got the answers. He can give you the 411, and he could even go for a test drive virtually and be like, try this, test this. I didn't know you didn't know how to look at this, this, and this. And then he'll tell you, do the details. You're like, I feel like not a wine connoisseur, but a car connoisseur. All right, drink responsibly. We'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Who is the Atua Man? Can you imagine exploring spiritual consciousness through an exotic action-adventure story? The Atua Man is masterfully illuminated in this self-discovery novel by John Stevenson. Dive into the page-turning epic hero's journey, weaving together high action with spiritual revelation. Join the Atua Man and his colorful cohorts as they travel through the majestic Hawaii, the hidden mysteries of Polynesia, and the intrigue, starting with the mysterious healing that breeds chaos in London. This journey guides us through the trials of living in the material world, arriving into enlightened consciousness, perhaps glimpse into the fabric of creation. How is the Atua Man affected by the global healing ministry surrounding him? How does he navigate the complexities of love, forgiveness, life and death, wealth and power? Find out in John Stevenson's TheAtuaMan.com, Apple Books, Amazon, Barnes & Noble.
My mom is a breast cancer survivor. The United Breast Cancer Foundation saved her life. Their free breast cancer exam caught the cancer early, and that saved her life. But now the foundation needs your help so they can continue offering free or low-cost breast screening exams, saving more women's lives. Help them by donating your car, whether it's running or not. They'll provide fast, free 24-hour pickup, and you receive a charitable tax deduction, plus the great feeling you'll get knowing your donated car is going to help save more lives. Just call 800-781-0965 to set the wheels in motion. They take cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs, running or not. Call 800-781-0965. The United Breast Cancer Foundation needs your help, and your donation could literally save women's lives, helping them catch breast cancer early, like they did with my mom. Donate today. 800-781-0965. That's 800-781-0965.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state? Did you miss sending out a prior year tax return? The IRS is out to collect now more than ever, and they'll use any means necessary. They legally can and will garnish your wages, take your money, and even seize your property. If you're behind on your taxes, call the tax relief hotline right now at 951-224-9000. That's 951-224-9000. 951-224-9000. You can legally get your tax debt under control and in many cases get the breathing room you need. Garnished wages, property seizures, bank levies can stop immediately, but you have to call. Many of our specialists are IRS enrolled agents. They know the system and how to make it work for you. Don't wait for the IRS to come down on you. Act now so you can get your tax debt under control. Call the Riverside office today for free info at 951-224-9000. That's 951-224-9000. 951-224-9000.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM. Joining our live stream audience there, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope TV, LinkedIn Live. Appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget Alexa's where it's at, which actually Alexa's available on a lot of vehicles right now. But I will say this, joining us again is Ricardo Rodriguez of Garage Latino and extraordinaire of the Hispanic Motor Press, CEO and founder, who honestly judges very harshly vehicles. So when he does so with your buyer interest in mind. He doesn't pick favorites and or loyalties, right, Ricardo?
Definitely. I mean, the only way you can be a good judge at anything is being as impartial as you can and just try to, not find defects, but, see and compare how one vehicle is built against another one, the type of materials that they use, where they're resourcing the materials. And something that is very, very important is we cannot base, personally, I think we have to think about the longevity of the vehicle. What do we expect from the vehicle from, 12 months from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, especially since most of the loans today are 5 to 7 to 8 years. So if you're going to be paying for a vehicle, I think it's important that we try to get as much as information on the mechanicals, on the reliability of the vehicle, long term. I disagree with awarding something that when it's something totally new, untried, unknown, that it might be striking to see and it might have, fancy interior, but then 6 months later is full of recalls and a year later it the value drops 50%.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that would be a good vehicle, to own.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. Ricardo's less on the pizzazz because I can always tell him, be like, ooh, check this out. And he's like, yeah, that's good. Because I could tell he sometimes kind of, and I get, but look at this, look at that, look at this. And he's like, yeah, that's good. But, and I know sometimes you hold back, but you're like, okay, let you enjoy. Because sometimes some things that are big for others are not big for others as well. I want to talk specifically about the Lexus IS. Okay, I got a chance to test drive this just recently. They start at $39,000, loaded 44,000 and up. Obviously, you've got the UX hybrid, you've got the NX hybrid, the RX hybrid, the LC hybrid. You've got all these. I personally tried out actually the Sport edition, and it's a 4-door Sport, which I will say it's not the type of thing you typically expect of a 4-door vehicle. It feels more like a coupe 2-door. Does that make sense?
Well, let me tell you a little bit of the story. I think this vehicle, when it was designed, I think Toyota had in mind to build perhaps one of the best 4-door sedans with a rear-wheel drive platform, meaning a real driver car, typical of the BMW. And I think they did a great job. Today, that platform is just it's getting a little bit old. It's been in the market now for a number of years. But regardless of that, it's still, I think it's one of the best cars out there in terms of the dynamics, the way it handles brakes, good power delivery. And I'm talking about the F version, which is the one you drove, and I'm familiar with it because the F means sort of the sports version, just like BMW has the M, series. The F on the Lexus is the equivalent for that. Very well built car, very reliable engine. The interiors are very luxurious, just like any Lexus. They pay a lot of attention to little details that go by most people. I think as a car, I think it's a really, really nice car. If you ask me if I have to sort of judge that car today, because it's a design that has been out there now for a number of years, I think the infotainment system, the controls and all that, they could be,
It lacked.
I wouldn't say better, but they should be, sort of updated.
Yeah, in my opinion, and I just test drove a blue exterior, regular, but I'm looking at the website, I'm seeing red, and I'm like, okay, I would actually do that in red. But I will say, for being a Lexus, I do feel that the interior could have gotten a little bit more work. On the positive side, they have a touchscreen multimedia display that's placed 6 inches closer for your convenience, a new Android Auto integration, and some other things. But I will say I've seen other vehicles with much better interior when it comes to the gadgets, if that makes any sense.
Yes, and that's sort of what we talked, a little bit earlier, right? Is, do we build a car with all the bells and whistles of technology today, even though we don't know if they work yet or not?
Right.
So by Toyota's approach is, let's do what we know it's going to work long term. So I think that's if you have to find sort of a weaker point, that will be the weaker point. I think that infotainment system, the controls, the interior is, I think for me, the interior is nice, but it's pretty simple, I will say, compared to other brands right now. If we were comparing, 2021 models. But nevertheless, that it's a car that is going to last a long time.
Yeah, it is a beautiful vehicle. And I will say this, if you get a chance to test drive it along with some other ones in its market of price, again, Lexus, being the name of Lexus, I will say it handled like a car that I remember having, which was the Civic. Honestly, I had a nice Civic back in the day. Obviously, it's got more pickup, and it went from eco to very fast, very quick. I will say this, it did attract some attention from the officers, and I was just parked. But had one of the officers says, yeah, this is the kind of vehicle that attracts our eyes. I said, oh, really? Interesting. So I guess they're looking for fast speedsters, although I was parked. I wasn't even like fast at the time. So I don't know what happened there. That happened Sunday. So I was like, okay, so be careful if you get this, drive responsibly. That's what I could say about that. It has a lot of pick up and go. It went from 0 to 60 quite fast. I want to say 5 seconds, and it has 302 horsepower or thereabouts. And that's a lot of pickup for a 4-door situation there. So I will say, drive responsibly and make sure that you have enough money in the bank to be able to pay for the tickets that you might get along the way. I'm just kidding, but I'm just be safe.
But something that I tell you, something that it's a characteristics of this type of vehicle is that it's a rear wheel drive, automobile, and that gives a different dynamic, especially once you start driving a little bit faster. And if you were to go in a canyon road, or if you're traveling in the mountain, and you sort of enjoy the drive in the car, then that's when you will notice the difference. Totally different than if you drive a front wheel drive, as you mentioned, a Honda Civic or an Accord for that matter, that would be more compatible in size. You will see a big difference on how they feel, and they reward the person driving it, because you can feel the rear pushing the car forward as you accelerate, and you can, and the cornering and all that. So, and again, I said that the Lexus with the F package, this IS, it's worth it. It's a very well done vehicle. It's a very well done vehicle.
I say go ahead and get it if you've got it in your budget to do so. The next one I want to talk about is the 2021 Venza, and the Venza was a surprise to me, to be honest. I expected not to like it. I'll be very frank on that, because I looked at the exterior, and granted, I just had like a different vehicle previous week before, and I said, okay, but it had some things that I have not seen in other vehicles. I did go on display on Instagram Live and showed a little bit of things and trying to make sense of it for some people. I get wowed by certain technology, especially when I see it for the very first time. And the interior was good. It was pretty good, but the actual top portion, which I want to see in more vehicles. I don't know what they need to add to it, but can you describe what I'm talking about on the top glass?
You're talking about having a glass roof, basically.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? Right. Yeah. Yeah. Which, again, it seems something like it's a wow thing. It's great, but from the engineering point of view, that's very difficult to do, because for most of the cars of today, the roof is an integral part of the structure of the vehicle to keep it together in case of an accident. So once you start cutting, these big openings on the roof, you could be compromising, the integrity of the cab. So Toyota has done a great job with this Venza, which is very roomy. It's big inside. I think it's a great, for a family, it's a good size automobile. If you can open that big roof inside, it definitely gives you a different feeling, right? You got all the light coming in, you can see your surroundings through the roof and the night sky. So it makes it very, very, very nice.
Yeah, but and it had the privacy glass. So when you charge it, it automatically, for me, it's kind of a cool wow factor. This is a cool technology that I know that they've applied to certain skyscrapers and such. And I forget the science behind it, but it reminds you of the Mission Impossible moments when they go into the CIA building and all of a sudden the clear glass goes opaque. That's the best way to describe it. I would love it if it did that on the side windows as well. You know what I mean? I don't know if we're there yet, or if it's the future,
The technology is there, but there are certain, we have to remember there are laws, regulations that do not allow to have darkened glass, because the policeman cannot recognize who's inside the car.
You know how many cars I've seen that?
I know, but it is illegal. It is a very cool effect in it. Now, you didn't mention that it's important. The Venza comes as a hybrid, so it does. Yeah. Phone. Yep, that's right. Yeah, yeah. You can start the car. You can set the temperature. Let's say if you're like if you're up here where there's a little bit of snow, you want to warm up the car. You want to warm up the inside of the car. You can start the car while you're drinking coffee, and set the temperature to 74 degrees. So by the time you get in the car, it's all warm inside, comfy. The engine's ready to go. Well, it's interesting you mentioned the RAV4, because I feel that it's almost its own competitor. The RAV4 has grown in size. It's now with the RAV4 Prime, I think it's one of the best hybrid packages. Honda CR-V hybrid. I mean, both of these vehicles perform very, very well. It's technology that started with the Prius. Now we see it in other Toyota models, and the Venza, in a way, they're very similar size vehicles, but they are presented in a whole different way. So. I think it appeals to different people. I think you have people that will like the RAV4,
right?
Maybe look more of a truck-like, a little more square. It has the front end very similar to the Toyota Tacoma, especially if you get the Adventure package.
Right.
That it looks almost like a front end of a Tacoma. So I think You have certain group of people that likes that and also very loyal to the RAV4 name. And then you have the Venza, what I think it's more like a city car. It has that it has that appeal of San Francisco. A very urban car that gives you all the same attributes of the RAV4, but for people that are not into the adventure, and having the hybrid package, I think, is very important.
Yeah, it again is a beautiful vehicle. I will say it's got some cool interior stuff as well. It's got the mirror again that has the ability to see behind you. It's done really well. It's got great little sound system as well. You can listen to Elvis or your Beatles via the Sirius platform that's in there, which I highly recommend, especially for the family members, especially during coronavirus. Take them out for a little drive if they're safe. And it's got great highway miles as well, especially for the size of vehicle. I will say at, I believe, what was it? 40 estimated city, 37 highway. It's a nice ride. It's a beautiful ride. It's a great interior. I really have very little to say about it that's really bad. For the price alone, I think it is a very good one. Of course, being Toyota, it's all about safety. I will say this one actually did see somebody from behind me, and it abruptly stopped me from rearing, going backwards, which I was like, I mean, there was a safe distance away, but it was probably a good 6 or 8 feet away. Like when you go back in a parking lot and it abruptly stopped. I'm like, why is it stopping? I felt like the parking brake was on, but it saw the person behind me, which I've never had that happen before. It's got good safety notifications as to, on-screen board notification of the speed limit that you should be in. It's got assisted, if you're really bad at parking, it's good for the teenagers. It's good for grandma. It's got 8 airbags. It's got a star safety system like none other that Toyota is known for. And it's got full quality Toyota care. So I say a big win on this one. I don't know what I would rate it, but I would say at least out of 5 stars, I would give it a good 4 3/4.
And something that is important that you talk about safety. Toyota has a system called Safety Sense, Toyota Sense. It's one of the best packages around. It does have pedestrian detection, just like you experiences for the front and the rear. It can adjust, the distance from the cars in front of you, from the cars in back of you. A very complex system that works very, very well. And it's one of the less intrusive systems. It also have what they call lane assist, which it helps you to maintain your lane in the freeway. By centering itself, But in some vehicles, it's almost like you have to fight the steering wheel,
I've had that. I've had that because I'm like, no, I want to make a left. It's like, no, you want to stay in your lane. I'm like, no, I want to make a left. It's like, no, you want to stay in your lane. I'm like, stop that.
Right. So on the Venza, that system, it's you almost don't feel anything, and it's working for you. And Toyota, it's known for the safety features. So this Venza is a very, very good all-around package. There are some competitors in the market, but this is sort of unique because it competes in an area where most of the vehicles that we find in that area are really what we call crossovers, small SUVs or medium-sized SUVs. Because it's a hybrid, you have the Escape hybrid. Then you have the RAV4 hybrid, the CRV hybrid. Mazda, has a CX-5, which is a very similar size, but does not have a hybrid, and a very different interior. The Venza is, to me, it makes it a very nice family car. To move to go places with the kids.
Yeah, well, and we're running out of time, but I will say from social media, Maria says the Venza 2021, I would buy it for me and the kids. And again, if you're thinking about you and your family, it is a definitely good ride to definitely take a look at. And as I said, it's got some nice specifics, but it's got comfort. It's got family written all over it. It'll keep the kids safe. I think there's cool accessories that you could buy in the back, I'm sure, for the kids to keep, their entertainment alive. But it's got safety written all over it. And I think this one's going to be around for quite some time, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. I have no doubts on that.
All right, people. I got to let each and every one of you go. It's out of our time spot, unfortunately. But really quick, before we let them go, Ricardo, how can they follow all the great stuff that you're doing over there? If they have questions, again, website and all.
Well, garagelatino.com, or through Facebook, it's even better. And don't forget to check LA Best, labest.com. It's the Los Angeles guide, really for the locals, where I also write in English in there, so you don't have to worry about Spanish. So you can read my write-ups about automobiles and discovering California weekend trips and so forth at labest.com.
Yeah, hopefully we answered any questions you might have had. Again, we try to drive them so that we can get down to the nitty-gritty of what we can recommend and what we think might be helpful for you. Again, Ricardo Rodriguez over there, thank you for joining us here on the morning show.
Thank you.
All right, for the rest of you, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you. Again, keep safe out there, drive safe, and don't forget, during cold weather, there is ice on those roads, so drive responsibly. Bye-bye, everyone. All right, for the rest of you tuning in, thank you for joining us here on the morning show. Again, after show program. I know Ricardo's got places to go, so he's signing off. Though, although technically, if you want to stay just a little, hey, real quick before we let you go, Ricardo, it's okay. Some of my audio went out on my side, so it's weird. We all three had technical difficulties at completely separate places. It's like, what is going on in the world? Maria says, have an awesome day, everyone. Stay safe. Have a great weekend as well. Really quick, before we let you go, sometimes we don't get to talk more about some stuff that maybe you might want to talk about, but you kind of, hit it at the beginning. And right now, I got to ask, are there some really good deals out there that we should be looking at that you maybe have come across? Or because I would imagine during coronavirus, there's a lot of new specials. And I got to imagine with the new specials out there, there's got to be some vehicles that we should go, if you're pinching the dollars, for example.
I think there are deals everywhere, and there's certain dynamics also that are happening. There's a shortage of parts. So manufacturers are getting behind. One of the parts that it's problematic right now are the computer chips. For these cars. So Ford's having a problem, Dodge is having a problem. I mean, many manufacturers are having a problem with getting the parts because a lot of these suppliers, they've been closed, or they've been, working with just a minor crew, with a small crew. So they're not being able to fulfill their orders. And for that reason, dealers feel that type of squeeze, like, hey, I don't have all the cars that I need this month. And even though the sales might be slow, they still have to be selling, to keep running the business. You can't have a dealership that doesn't sell cars. If it doesn't sell any cars, makes no money, they have to shut down. So there's a lot of deals around. I was surprised. I just give you one example, and I'm not saying go buy these, but I give you an example.
Right.
I had the opportunity to drive a Chevrolet Trail Boss that has an off-road package, a 4x4 system, and the manufacturer suggested retail is $62,000. Well, I started checking dealers, and I found the same truck that I was driving for $41,000. That was $20,000 off. And There were 3 dealers, and I called one, and it says, yes, we have a goal to sell all these Trail Bosses by the end of the month, no matter how much we lose. We need to sell them because we need to keep the business going.
Right.
And
they're looking for quantity, not
right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because in order to keep the economy moving, you got to sell quantity.
Right. So there's a lot of deals, I think, everywhere. So this is a time that you can really negotiate. Now, be careful that also the price of cars is going up. And it's going to keep going up because we are seeing inflation that we have not seen before. Your dollar buys less and less, meaning everything, if you bought something for $1, now you need 2, and next week you're going to need 3.
Yeah.
So the price of cars, I think, is just going to keep going up. So, but don't buy more than you need.
Well, it's funny.
Be careful. Now they're doing these loans for 84 months. I've seen loans for 9 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time to be paying.
Yeah. Social media comment Rosalie says, if I had a choice between a brand spanking new car or an old one, 50s or 60s, definitely an old one. Even I could change the spark plugs in an old one. So what's your recommendation there?
Hey, I believe, if you choose the right car, if you like something, like, hey, if you have a 1965 Mustang and it's running well, it's never going to go down in price. It's going to maintain the value.
That's right. Yeah, which I think you have. That's your 1965 Mustang, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And it's easy to fix, and the parts are very, very cheap, and they work. Yes, they might not have the brakes like like a 2021, and they don't have the sound. Well, you can put a sound system inside.
Yeah.
There's something to say about classic cars, that there's still a market for them, a very active market, by the way.
Yeah, I will say this. I'm looking at some special deals for the month of February, and there's a lot of 0% financing for 72 months. A lot of those going on. The 2020 Volkswagen Arteon, the 2021 Subaru Ascent for 63 months, of course, based on credit. The 2021 Ram 1500's got a lot of little deals there. 0% financing for 72 months plus 3,000 bonus cash. That's Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, Southeast. It might be a little bit more South Central, Southwest, which is where our area is 5,000 bonus cash. But again, depending on where you buy and depending on, again, price. The 2021 Nissan Titan also has for 84 months, for those of you trying to stretch it out a ways that have good credit. The 2021 Mazda CX-3 has 0% financing for 60 months plus $500 bonus cash, pretty much across the board. In Southwest, it's got just a 60-month. It depends where you buy these. The 2021 Jeep Renegade has some special deals there as well. Here in the Southwest, up to $4,250. In Northeast, it's $5,750. Again, it depends where you're at. The 2021 Infiniti QX50, which I haven't heard much about, but I believe you know something about that as well, right?
Well, if Infiniti, I think it's just, it's almost like a crossroads. I think it's the lineup. It has a lot of nice vehicles, very well made, but somehow the brand never took off, like a Lexus, for example.
Yeah,
and I think it doesn't have that brand recognition, and for that, the resale value sometimes suffers. They're very good vehicles, but they're just not on people's radars, and I don't see the efforts to gain territory. So, but being part of Nissan, I think Nissan is focusing itself on what Nissan needs to do, and Nissan needs to increase their volume, needs to do better with the dealers. And big news yesterday, they came up with the new Frontier and the new Pathfinder, the 2022 models, and hopefully those vehicles bring more people to Nissan. Nissan, again, it's very similar to Toyota, Honda. They make very good products, but their sales, sometimes they get off the radar of people's attention.
Well, I do have a question from social media, and evidently she is in the car buying, looking at it. Maybe we can give some comparison on the top of your, but real quick, Rosalie says, I had a 65 Mustang, oddly enough. So she's saying that on social media. But the question comes from our Canadian folks, Maria, who says, can you ask about the 2021 Chevy Spark? If it's a good little car, do you know anything about it? It fits my budget very good at the moment to pay cash. What do you say on this vehicle? I haven't seen much about this myself. I'm looking it up for the very first time. I'm going to try to bring it up as you're talking about it. So
she's in Canada. It's no longer, I don't think it's available in the US anymore. It's a commuter car, good quality. The Spark has been pretty reliable. It is, they are on the economy side, meaning they don't have a lot of thrills, but the safety package is good. I like the car actually. It's a car that's done very well through the world, especially in Europe. It's a proven car, so yeah, I would say yes. It's something worth considering. Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now on the screen. It's got some pretty cool interior stuff as well. I mean, at the entry level of what is it, 13,000?
Right.
That's a good sized vehicle to get around, right?
Oh yeah, for the city is perfect. I mean, if all you do is commute, to go to work and so forth, yeah, definitely. I think it works. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
30,
am wrong. They
38.
still have they still have the 2021 in the U.S. the Spark. So sorry about that. They do have it.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that right now because I haven't tried this, so I can't speak for it. It comes in pretty like pastel colors. I mean, I personally wouldn't want to be driving in the pastel.
This car is very popular in Europe. It's
Oh,
the high volume in Europe because it's small, so it's easy
efficient.
to park. It gives you, easy. You can get 40 miles per gallon. So it has all the amenities that you need in a car without being, inexpensive. So if you need something for commuting, I mean, this is not a car to go, oh, let me get all the family inside, depending on how big is your family, right?
Right.
But and let's go into a 1,000-mile trip. That's not for that. This is a city car. It's the perfect commuter to go from A to B. It's inexpensive where you can say, you know what, I can buy new and I know I'm not going to have any problems for a few years. I don't have to risk. I don't know, if you're looking at a $13,000, $14,000 used car, really, you don't know the history behind it. So yeah, I think it's as an alternative to a used car. I think if the size fits for what you need, it's just for commuting. I think it's a good purchase.
Do you have one that's kind of a good other one to take a look at that might be kind of missed in that same category or not really?
In Canada, the Toyota Yaris.
Okay.
I think Toyota Yaris in Canada, it's about the same size.
Yaris.
The Mitsubishi Mirage, it's just about the same. Very reliable car, but it's very basic, very, very basic. But again, it's very inexpensive. So the Mirage is another alternative when you're looking for, what they call first car buyer or, commuter cars. The Mitsubishi Mirage, I know that it can do 250, 300,000 miles without any problems. And it has a small engine and it gives you almost 50 miles per gallon. A 3-cylinder engine that performs very, very well. A lot of people in America don't like it because it's just too small and it feels like no power. But the reason it's small and no power is because it's easy to park. It's just for commuting and it doesn't cost you much to run it.
Got it. Yeah, Mara says I it's only for work. I rented one. It cost me $30 to fill the tank here. And sometimes she goes between Canada and the US she's a nurse with the family. So, again, I want to say thank you. They should have nurse first line worker like discount programs, I would imagine. But I don't know. But here's what I could say. Ricardo could probably hook you up with somebody that knows somebody else, right? Or would you buy new or used in those type of vehicles? I would say buy new, right?
Well, it's, again, it all depends on budgets. It's still $13,000. So,
but I guess my point is, if you're going to do 13,000, would you rather go used and perhaps a little bit older and maybe, does that make sense? Like a trade-off?
Yes, I think, I'm a firm believer that you can always find pretty good deals on 2-year-old cars,
That's a good way of looking at it, by the way.
Yeah, because there's a lot of leasing going on and a lot of people take a 2-year lease and some people really don't drive that much within that period. So you're able to find trucks with low miles and they might have, 25% off the price. Just to give an example, we're looking at a $13,000 car. Well, maybe you can find a 2019 Chevy Spark that you can buy it for $9,000. And if it only has 25, 30,000 miles, hey, that's 30% off the price. It's still pretty new.
Yeah, no, I mean, or you can get a lot more bang for your buck if you maybe go 1 or 2. And I like that point because sometimes 2 years, like you said, sometimes they just use it. It sits there, especially during coronavirus. There are some areas and people that have just kind of parked their vehicles and now they got to turn them in. And they're like, wait a minute, right? So we're probably going to have an influx of a lot of those in the next even year or two. I could imagine. Rosalie there says, I vote buy new, maybe a rebate, get full warranty and gap insurance for sure, or a lease new car every 2 years. What do you think?
Yes, you can do that. You never own it and you will be paying forever. But as they say, you own nothing and you will be happy. so the car you have to look at is, again, it's not an investment.
It's more like a rental.
It's not an investment. So you don't buy a car to make money. You buy a car because you need to go from A to B. And now it depends on how comfortable and how fancy you want to be that vehicle to take you from A to B. And that's a conversation that we have no end. The Chevy Spark can take you from San Francisco to California, and so is a Mercedes Maybach. It's where your priorities are and
your
how
lifestyle
the vehicle really fits within your lifestyle and what is it you want.
That makes sense.
You can always buy so much and then regret it with your payment.
Well, yeah, and I've done that. I'm the kind of person that goes, no, I'll do the lease. Don't worry about the miles. And then the miles go up the wazoo. And I'm like, crikey. So I always say, make sure to keep on top of your miles and or buy the additional miles in case you go over that. I tend to think I'm going to stay under, and then I get like a sales job or I get a job that puts a lot of mileage on. And I'm like, oh no. So, buy responsibly, make sure to keep up on top of that. But again, a lease is a lease is a lease, keeps you with the brand new every 2 years. And if you don't care about buying something and or owning it, then I say, hey, if that's for you, then do that. It can work out. But
don't forget that on the leases, you can negotiate the miles. A lot of people don't ask for that, but you can negotiate the miles.
Oh, really? How do you do that?
Yes, the best deals in the market always are based on 15,000 miles a year or 10,000 miles a year.
Right.
But if you drive, but then what happens if you get a deal that is at 10,000 miles a year and you drive 12, then all of a sudden you have a huge penalty. So you just have to tell the bank, no, I can't. I need to do this deal with 15,000 miles. So work out the deal based on 15,000 miles. And of course, the payment is going to go up a little bit, but at least you're not going to have, it's going to be less than a penalty from later on.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because the last BMW, boy, the mileage were on that. Mario says, I don't like credit for a ride, never bought a car. I couldn't buy straight out. Rosalie says, if you go over miles and love the car, you have option to buy it because value drops by then and you get a good deal. But you're saying you should be able to still negotiate it.
Yeah, but you have to be careful because on the lease, remember, on the lease, you have a higher payoff at the end. And more than 50% of the time, what you owe at the end of the lease is more than what the car is worth. So you got to be very careful. Don't play that game. You're going to lose.
Ooh, that is a good money-saving tip of the day that you got by staying with us all the way through. All right, Ricardo, hey, I know you got to go places and, drive responsibly and invite me for one of those, like, I think you're getting a Porsche around the corner, right? Or is it like an F-150? What is it? Or like a Mach? What's the new? I saw one that's like a Mustang. Is it the Mach-E? What is that?
Mach-E, to me, it should not be called a Mustang, but I understand what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
A new electric 4 vehicle called the Mustang Mach-E.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sure we'll talk about that around the corner. Okay, Ricardo, thanks for spending time with us here on the morning show.
All right. Good night.
All right. Ricardo Rodriguez, everybody, go follow him. Garage Latino. He's very simple, easy to find. He's got multiple accounts like me, but go find him at Ricardo Rodriguez or let me just show you his actual Facebook. Again, it's very simple. He's also on Twitter, but I'm trying to get him like fully on that. I'm working on it. But Garage Latino, go find him. Again, it's very simple. He's got lots of updates, lots of really good stuff as well. You could find it. You can like it on Facebook. Give it a like. Give it a share from time to time. He's got some really good information there. So do that. And we've run out of time. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for spending time with us. Let's see. So be responsible out there. Be safe. And if you have fun, share it on social media and let us know where you're having fun from. All right. Bye-bye, everyone. Make it a good day.